notes. So your picture is labeled. Oops, mine's missing. Little section. All right, so cellular respiration. Our definition of cellular respiration: it is the release of energy by the breakdown of sugars. It's going to occur in plants, animals, protists, fungi, and bacteria, which would be all of our cells. All living things go through cellular respiration. One of our characteristics of life from way back at the beginning of the year was that organisms, living things, can obtain and use materials and energy. They go through cellular respiration. During cellular respiration, the energy released from the glucose is going to be transferred into ATP, which we talked about last week. ATP is an energy molecule. And then we have our equation. The equation for cellular respiration, we're taking glucose and oxygen to produce water, carbon dioxide, and energy. It produces roughly 36 ATP molecules for energy. This equation is almost, or the products and reactants are reversed. The only difference is the energy. Photosynthesis starts off with water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight. All that in our bell ringer to make glucose and oxygen. So these two can work together in cycles. Things are dependent on one another. In this process, cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria. Respiration, there's two pathways, two things that can occur, or options in our cell. Are we all good with the first part of the notes? Two options. We have aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. The lab that we're doing with our yeast is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic has to have oxygen present. Your lab yesterday, when you set it up, you took all the air out of the bag before you sealed it. Aerobic with oxygen, so it requires glucose and oxygen. It produces 36 ATP. It happens so slowly because it has to go through our 3 steps of glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. So anaerobic respiration takes a little bit of time. 3 different steps that it has to go through. Glycolysis, Glycolysis. Okay, our next one, anaerobic respiration of. What do you think this is a picture of that I have up here on the front? Yeast. So these are yeast just like we used in lab yesterday. This is just them underneath the microscope. We used yeast with grapes. Yeast are also commonly used in bread. Yeast can go through anaerobic respiration. So this requires glucose and no oxygen. So yeast prefer to do aerobic because they get more energy. We took all of the air out of our bags yesterday. We removed all the oxygen. So now the yeast have to do anaerobic respiration. This only produces 2 ATP, but it's quick. Anaerobic respiration only has 1 step to it, so it's very, very quick. Anaerobic respiration is also referred to as fermentation, and we have 2 different types. Lactic acid fermentation takes place in the muscle cells within animals, and alcoholic fermentation happens in the yeast, and then there are some bacteria. Yeah.
When you say quickly or slowly, how fast is that?
Both of them are still fairly quick.
Okay.
So by slowly, so this one has to go through 3 steps. The aerobic, 1, 2, 3. Anaerobic only goes through the glycolysis. It only goes through 1 step. So it's still fairly quick, but 1 step is always quicker than 3 steps.
Yeah.
When you're exercising and your muscles, you start breathing hard and heart starts racing and your muscles start to burn, that's because your muscle cells, you're still breathing, but your muscle cells can't get enough oxygen, enough that they need for all that exercise. So your muscles start to burn. They go through anaerobic because they need that energy quick. You're out running. That burn is from the lactic acid that builds up. You stop running, you start walking, taking deep breaths. Muscle cells switch back to aerobic, and your blood carries that lactic acid away. That's part of the reason your muscles burn when you exercise. You're not getting enough oxygen to them. When your coaches make you do conditioning and run and run and run and run and run, what they're doing is they're helping your body to develop more efficient blood circulation so that you don't go through lactic acid fermentation as quickly. They're not just doing it to be mean.